Austin Spare said, "A bat first grew wings and of the proper kind, by its desire being organic enough to reach the subconsciousness. If its desire to fly had been conscious, it would have had to wait till it could have done so by the same means as ourselves, i.e., by machinery." Spare's insight is a brilliant one. Evolution does not proceed by way of Darwinian random, purposeless mutation of matter, but by the directed teleological striving of the subconscious. For Spare, the subconscious also dominated the artistic sphere. He wrote, "Art is the instinctive application of the knowledge latent in the subconscious." Much of magic is also an instinctive application of the powers of the subconscious. To use magic reliably, it needs to be moved out of the sphere of instinct and into conscious knowledge. The power of repression. Austin Spare believed that psychological repression had tremendous magical power. As Dr. Jekyll discovered, the more you repress the shadow, Mr. Hyde, the more powerful it becomes, until it demands a life of its own. Servitors and egregores achieved much greater power, Spare believed, if we tried to forget them, to bury them, to load them with taboos. Consciousness wants things, but the conscious mind, according to Spare, isn't the source of magic power. Things that consciousness doesn't want ended up in the unconscious, and there, Spare believed, they can exert their true power. Spare claimed that a magical desire cannot become effective until it has become an organic part of the subconscious mind. This means that it must be expelled from consciousness. Therefore, by this view, consciously focusing on a goal is counterproductive. The process envisaged by Spare involved producing a sigil and then fixating on it in order to internalize it. The sigil was then to be destroyed, for example by burning it, to banish it from conscious thought. It would then start growing inside the subconscious. For Spare, the basic idea was that the sigil, together with its meaning, its desire, its intention, must be planted deeply into the unconscious, but then afterwards, consciousness had to forget it so that the unconscious could act on the sigil and obey its encoded directions without conscious hindrance, which always sabotaged its natural power. If the sigil failed to be firmly implanted in the unconscious, and just as firmly forgotten by consciousness, the desired results would not be obtained. The procedure was to charge the sigil, then repress all memory of it. Spare said, "There should be a deliberate striving to forget it." Hypnosis would probably be the best way to carry out Spare's technique. The sigil should be presented to the person under hypnosis so that they have no consciousness of it. Or, following a conscious process of implanting the sigil, they should then be given a strong post-hypnotic suggestion to forget all about it. Spare advocated trance techniques to internalize the sigil. A state of euphoria induced by drugs could also be used, or a state of ecstasy induced by sex, or a state of elevation produced by ritual. Another technique, perhaps the most successful, was to induce a state of extreme exhaustion, or boredom, or sensory deprivation, or existential fatigue and angst. That's when the mind greedily sucks up any stimulus and gives it its undivided attention. Wikipedia says, Gordon White developed the technique of shoaling, which involves launching a group of sigils for a set of related aims. For example, instead of sigilizing for money, sigilizing for a pay rise, new business clients, a promotion, influential new contacts, budget reallocation for your department, etc., all of which help shift the probability towards the overall aim. White also developed the technique of the robo-fish, which consists of including a sigil for something that the chaos magician knows will definitely happen, to lead the rest of the shoal. If you want your dreams to come true, you need to be smart, creative, determined, resourceful, imaginative. Dreams don't come true for stupid and lazy people. Why would they?